Welcome to day 3 of the Bloomberg New Economy Forum. We all know we must do much more, much faster in order to avoid the worst impacts of climate change.
We need to use our recovery stimulus to invest in the clean and digital technologies of the future, to make our economies more resilient and our societies and job markets fairer.
And we do hear countries announcing plans to step up action on the climate front. And so I am hopeful that much more will be done. But 2021 is the year when this should happen.
I think the beautiful thing about sustainability is when you understand, and for us that has been clear now for many years, that what's good for the environment can be also very good for business. So for example, the whole thing about using less water is good for a business, but it's also good for the community.
Clearing the air of the confusion of what sustainability means and trying to allow people a lens into what is the most important problem. And if you're going to stop climate change while you're making products, you have to be accountable to the carbon pollution that you're emitting in the manufacture and use of that product.
We've committed that by 2030, 100% of that carbon will come from renewable or recycled sources. So purple carbon from the air, blue carbon from marine sources, green carbon from plants, or grey carbon from recycled materials. That's the type of innovation that will sit underneath a green recovery.
If you want to be around for the long term, you're going to have a net zero strategy. That helps because it brings forward the investment that we need to get to where we need to go.
I think we will see a big bipartisan push on innovation in this decade, and we'll see a big push on energy infrastructure because that cannot be kicked down the road anymore.
Our journey will be a little longer in the oil and gas space compared to some of the developed economies, but it doesn't stop us taking those bigger steps on some of the renewable sides.
This has to be a decade of supercharged innovation. And by innovation, I mean all the way through to deployment.
And I think it will require all of the participants in the financial services sector to be proactively supporting the core industries and the core companies on the transition journey that they're going to have to go on. Otherwise, we collectively cannot achieve net zero.